Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we are on the website of Dorotheum Auctions based in Vienna in Austria. So this is the first time that we've been actually on this website. We've been waiting for an auction for quite a while. They kept on getting cancelled, but finally it is here. I believe Dorotheum is one of the largest, if not the largest, auction house in Austria. So this should be quite interesting. So we're going to have a look at their musical instrument auction. There's about 207 lots. Only the first maybe 140 or so I think are actually musical instruments, and then it gets into kind of audio equipment which we can ignore. So yeah, we can have a look at this new exciting auction. Just to say, it's worth looking at the terms and conditions because they are quite thorough. There is some conditions of sale, etc., and also tariff of charges. This is where you see the buyer's premium. It does get quite complicated. We won't go into it now, but it's somewhere kind of around the kind of 25-28% mark, so it's fairly high. Obviously, if you are kind of living outside of Austria or mainland Europe even, then you need to be aware that there may be other charges, so do your research before bidding if you are interested. But yeah, without further ado, we'll kind of get into the auction itself. I'm new to this format. Looks fairly standard, if not maybe a little bit kind of clunky kind of ish, but yeah, it looks interesting. So let's go back to the main list here. Lot number one is a pearl drum kit there. You can see that one person has bid on it. This sale, actually, I forgot to mention, is finishing tomorrow, so on the 20th of October. It's the 19th today, so still a little bit of time left, as it says here. 12 hours and 19 minutes. As we just saw before, you can click on a lot and you can see the other pictures. That's pretty standard. This picture so far is pretty clear. We'll see if there's any kind of violins and stuff, just how good those images are, but for that drum kit that seems pretty good, so we'll carry on. So here's a cello bow here. Let's see what kind of views we can get here. Looks like you can zoom in a fair bit. Okay, that's not too bad. The resolution getting a little bit low there, but that seems not too bad. And you can get a full screen there, so that's interesting. We can head back to that. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, and there's a bit of kind of weight and giving the date about 1850, 1860. No bids on that one so far. And then we have a violin here by Carl Erik Grunstrom. So it's a Swedish violin here. All the standard measurements, the length of back there, etc. 2,400 euros or 2,800 USD is the starting bid there. No bids so far. We can see some of the pictures of the scroll there. It's not too bad. Looks like we can't actually go to the... Oh, can we go to the next lot this way? Yeah, we can. That's pretty good. So here's a tenor saxophone. A few bids on that. And you can actually see the all of the other bids as well that have been kind of going on. So that's quite interesting. And let's see. We can go here. And it's another violin bow here. Let's have a look. Interesting. And we'll carry on. These pictures are actually better than I expected, to be honest. Here's a contrabass. 1980, 1990. 700 euros is the starting bid. It seems potentially a bit optimistic with that. I was a bit distracted there, sorry. Here is a Another violin here, so this is, I think, Viennese violin they're trying to say here. Hans Müller, 1938. Pictures are okay. That's not too bad a picture. That's okay. Yep, and you can see some details of the scroll. Yep. Oh, I think we've gone a bit farther. And we go back. And here's a guitar. Mark d'Orso. It's pretty standard fare. Nothing too exciting there, but pictures are not too bad. The internet is not happy today. Here's a Viennese bass gamba, basically. It's quite an interesting instrument. Nice odd little head from 1921. It's curious. And a manufactured violin. A pretty standard thing there, but at least they're kind of saying what it is. It's pretty standard. One bit on it. Here's a viola, a Bratschka. Probably saying that completely wrong, but yeah, it's a viola, a small viola, 388. Fairly small viola there. Neapolitan Mandolin. So I'm getting used to how this auction's laid out. 1955, Raphael Callis. So I'm a little bit jolty at the moment, I'm afraid. And the internet is also not happy. Here's a Bohemian kind of factory violin. I think that's what it's trying to say. 19th century, end of the 19th century. Gradually kind of improving my German there. And a trumpet in C there. I think we can see the pictures there at the side, so we don't need to go too much into those. Here's a Mark Nikirkin manufactured violin. We know it is basically a trade violin. Let's not get into it too much. Clarinet in B. Mark Klingson. An electric guitar, an Ibanez. So it's fairly diverse auction so far, pretty standard. And a interesting kind of viola there. Modern viola, 60s, 70s, yeah. Another manufactured violin there. No bids on this, very slightly better one than some of the others. And a music stand there. Starting bid €600. Okay. It seems it's like a double music stand. Yeah. Viennese cello. Anton de Malzettel, 1920. It's got a bow in a case. Interesting. It's got one of the old wooden cases there. And a Viennese violin here. Matthias Thier, 1790, with bow and case. Okay, interesting. Shame there's not a better picture of the scroll there. Can we zoom in a bit more and see what we get? Oh yeah, we do actually get a fair detail actually, it's not too bad. So interesting. Are we missing one there? Let's go back. It's a bit jolty, this one. An accordion. I think we can go past it. A Hohner accordion. And a violin by Rudolf Schuster, Austria. €2,600 there, so starting. A 6-course lute. What kind of lute guitar, really? 1929 from Munich, Hermann Hauser. Okay, interesting. Yeah, starting bid 2,200. This is Hermann Hauser, also the classical guitar maker, the famous family of Hauser guitar makers. So interesting. I've seen a few of these around before. And a clarinet there, Mark Hula. Probably getting all of the accents wrong here. Another violin here, labelled L. Schmidt Kassel, 19th century there. And a cello here. Vienna, 1826. Interesting, no bids on that so far. Another Bohemian violin, 2,200, the starting bid there. Antonius Thier is the label there. Now a violin by Marvin Olsen, 1980. €700 is the starting bid there. A Bohemian manufactured violin, end of the 19th century, Bowen case. Another Bohemian manufactured violin, which completely makes sense really, given that it's an Austrian auction. And another Neapolitan mandolin there, Mark Francesco and Riccardo Estella, Catania. Another manufactured trade violin there, starting at €300. A French violin, I believe. Uh, 19th century Francois Grevny label. Another Neapolitan mandolin, not so exciting. Another violin here, Klingenthal, interesting, 1770, 1780, €1,000 a bid. Looks like it's had a bit of a interesting life. I'm not sure about things like condition reports and stuff for this auction, actually, to be honest. Might be something to look at next time. Trumpet, Mark Roy Benson. And a guitar, Hoffman. Looks like not particularly exciting. A Viennese guitar, Gerhard Neubauer, Restadt 1960. An electric guitar, Fender Stratocaster with the case. This is a slow going auction because either the internet's not working or their website's quite clunky. I think it may be that their website's a bit clunky. Johannes Redek violin, which is end of the 18th century there. Oddly, there's just these two pictures. 357 back. Starting bid €500. Interesting, and no bids so far. It's curious. A silver mounted Viola Bow by Carsten G. Loschmann. Interesting. One of these kind of Cajun drums and other kind of percussion-y thing. Someone's bidding on it. Or cajon, I should say. More than Cajun, cajon. A Austrian violin. Starting bid is 1200. Label says Johannes Keffer Goisern, 1846. Another Swedish violin here. Edwin Larsson. Starting bids of €800. Now another violin here. Fairly standard. An accordion again. Marinucci. A Bohemian manufactured violin. Now is when I realise that I'm reading lots of these things incorrectly. Another manufactured violin here from Schonbach, end of the 19th century. Now a Violin Bow here. Another Violin Bow. And three violin bows. Let's have a quick look at these frogs and look at the heads. Mittenwald violin there. Neuner and Hornsteiner. Bohemian manufactured violin from Schonbach, 1900. Trumpet, Yamaha. A Hackbrett, interesting, from Salzburg. Spanish school guitar, pretty standard. Admira is the make. Another Swedish violin. A lot of Swedish violins here. 4,000 euros there. Aberg Schul, 1820-1830. That's pretty obscure. That's quite interesting. Another Swedish violin. This is very odd. I don't know if this is usual in Austria. They have so many Swedish violins, but it's quite curious. Stockholm 2001, so quite a modern one. 2,000 euros to starting. Another old violin. Silver mounted violin bow by Paul Weidhaus. Interesting. Another silver mounted violin bow. That's interesting enough. Another manufactured violin. This is definitely slow progress from 1900. An interesting violin here. So we're in the Brompton's interesting territory now. The scroll is good. It looks like it's got some marks of Giuseppe Beltrami Cremona, end of the 19th century. But weird picture angles there. I don't know if that's on purpose. Guitar. It's one of these kind of dodgy Bohemian guitars. And let's see, Trumpet there by Doppler. Another violin. 1780 with a Klotz label. Interesting. 2,400 is the estimate there. Another trade violin here. A amateur made violin from Canada, it seems. Calgary, 1985. Interesting. It's a bit random. 400 euros, the opening bid there. Another Mittenwald violin with the kind of Steiner style lion's head. This is end of 19th century, so not really that interesting at the moment. Neapolitan Mandolin again comes around. Giovanni Cassman, 1931. And a Violin Bow by Carl L. C.A. Hoyer, Marknenkirchen. Another Violin Bow. Silver mounted octagonal stick, stamped Jürgen Geipel. Another manufactured viola there, 391, the length of the back. A good factory violin, that's what it's trying to say. Just in Marknenkirchen, end of the 19th century. Kind of Gasparsalo type thing. And a French violin by Nicolas Simoutre, Metz, 1859. Manufactured violin from Schonbach. Three-quarters, in fact. I'm quite see that. Another accordion. Hohner Verdi 2. A Baroque cello there. About 1780. It's interesting. What's the starting bid? 5,000. No bid so far. That's kind of interesting. A violin. 1930 to 1940. A Josef Schunder contrabass there. 1867. From Pest. But Viennese model. Interesting. Bit of a problem there on the old headstock. Another accordion. A Bohemian manufactured violin from 1900 with 2 bows and a case. Didgeridoo. Oh, why not? 160 starting with, that seems quite high. Pochette here from Martin Matthias Fickel, Vienna, circa 1740, with original bow, it seems, so that's slightly interesting. Definitely a curious one. Wow, that really is something, isn't it? Another manufactured violin. Lippold Hamming sample 1923. 800 euros. Bohemian manufactured violin 1900. Hausmann Schonbach. Joseph Wassermann Denim, not even sure how to pronounce that. 1817. I think one of these was for sale at Brompton's, one that's for a lower price, but it had worm damage. So that's interesting. Clarinet in B by Klingson. Another violin there. 1820s or 30s. Neapolitan Mandolin. Viola Bow there. About 1860s, they're saying. Violin Bow. Octagonal stick. Marked Penzel. Violin Bow by M. Penzel. Octagonal stick. Doesn't look that interesting, but there we go. Now another violin, 1820 to 14. Three-quarter violin here, manufactured in Brunn, 1920. Balalaika there, how interesting, USSR, 1980. Musical instrument set, different kind of things, like a school set. Interesting. It's, just thinking about it. Dobro guitar. Johnson, yeah, Chinese made. Violin case. Another Bohemian manufactured violin, a bit later, 1860 or 70. Electric bass guitar there, Fender Precision. Interesting violin with a label for Jacques Bouquet from 1800, a couple of bows. Starting bid 2000, there's not any bids on it so far. Swedish violin again, there's quite a lot, by Arenberg, 1979. I've never seen so many Swedish violins in an auction before, to be quite honest. We're losing the internet again. And Bohemian manufactured violin. Got a Magini type. A Bohemian contra guitar. Interesting. By Fritz of Schonbach. One bid on that. A tambura, Croatian or Serbian, it's saying. I think that my German is getting slightly better. There's a bit ropier in the middle. Mandolin. Guitar by A. Genovese, 1900. French factory violin, basically, 1900. Bohemian factory violin. Another factory violin here, 19th century. Neapolitan Mandolin there. A Bohemian manufactured violin, 1900. Whole load of bows. We're used to that. Whole load of random bows. And now it's Viola, 1980. Violin Bow. I think it's nickel mounted with a stamp for Francois Lot. Manufactured factory violin from Graslitz from Johann Michel and Sohn, 1929. Whole load of harmonicas there. Another accordion, why not? Let's get a few more. An electric guitar there, an Ibanez, like AS200. Another violin case. Now a lute of some kind. Now a violin. I think this is, I'm not sure what that's trying to say, Dutch or something like that, about 1800. Bohemian factory violin again. Just a violin. Hurdy-gurdy. French one. It's interesting enough. 2,400. The starting bid. These are always kind of quite popular. And a child's accordion there. A Mittenwald violin. A Theorbo lute, but kind of single string one. Another Hermann Hauser then, Munich, 1925. Another accordion, because why not? throw a few more in. Yeah, let's do another accordion. Another Neapolitan mandolin, yeah, why not? Bohemian factory violin again. So always do with a few of those. Here's a Wappen guitar, a shield guitar actually. This is quite nice. By Victorin Drasseg, Dornbirn, 1828. Yeah, this is an interesting guitar. Definitely good for a collection. Very interesting back there. Yeah, that's a nice thing. 2,000 starting bid, it's not too bad. Innsbruck. Another Viennese guitar here. Honel. Another nickel mounted violin bow, octagonal stick, stamped Morison. Another violin bow. An accordion. Another concert guitar there by Joseph Schrott, Graz. Electric guitar, Gibson Les Paul Studio. No bids on that one. Another school guitar, Aria, Japan. Another kind of French violin there. Copy of Dorotheum. A Mandolin Guitarno Venezia, Naples, 1921. Interesting decoration. And a whole load of, it's like a practice drum and sticks. And a silver mounted violin bow by Lothar Hermann, octagonal stick. It's stamped Hermann as well. Silver mounted violin bow by Gustav Prager. 1400's the starting bid there. Another manufacturer violin there. Soprano mandolin, that's interesting. Surprised actually, we still got more lots, more than I thought. A whole lot of kind of block flutes basically. Another Mittenwald violin. 1788. 2,400 is the starting bid there. Another violin, middle of the 19th century. 2,000 the starting bid. Another Mittenwald violin, Neunenhornsteiner, 900 starting bid. Another manufactured violin. Another accordion. An alto sax. Another manufactured violin. Another Bohemian manufactured violin, end of the 19th century. Another violin, 1840ish. Bohemian clarinet there. Oh no, not it's a Bohm thing. Okay, and let's carry on. A flugelhorn there by Roy Benson. Schonbach violin there. Still 12 hours to go. Just a random guitar, Yamaha FG 340. An electric guitar, Fender Telecaster. Another Bohemian manufactured violin, 1920. A harmonica, a Schrammel harmonica. Another Cello Bow looped thing. Neapolitan Mandolin. I think there's a lot more musical instruments than I actually thought, to be honest. Another Master Mandola. It's actually quite nice. Fernando de Perugia, 1898, 2,400 starting. That's quite nice. And now I think we're getting into other stuff now. This is kind of loudspeaker and mixing desk stuff, so I think this is probably getting towards the end. Yeah, we're into records and stuff, so that is it. So yeah, that is the Dorotheum musical instrument auction, the auction in Vienna in Austria. Actually quite interesting. Slow start, unfortunately. My reading is sometimes a little bit off, so I'll have to work on that for the next time, but otherwise a fairly interesting auction. The picture's not too bad. I didn't want to get into it in too much detail, but an interesting auction. Obviously a lot of kind of European violins, a lot of Bohemian things, also Viennese as well. Surprisingly, a crazy amount of Swedish violins. That was really interesting. So some curious lots there that could be quite useful. Yeah, and I'll try and improve for next time my kind of reading of German and all those kind of things. But yeah, it looks like an interesting auction house, so I look forward to the next one, and hopefully I'm a bit more awake next time. So yeah, if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description. Check it all out and see what you think. And yeah, until next time, ciao for now. Goodbye. Many thanks for tuning in to the Musical Instrument Investigator. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please like, subscribe and turn on notifications, and watch out for the next video coming soon.